it's the news about Automobilista 2's big update and other news coming up right here, right now. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the first of our regular news roundups of the year. Happy new one! If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. Thanks for watching, my name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. According to BMW sources, the company is hopping on the sim racing bandwagon that got such a good speed last year and is expanding their sim racing outings. They are offering 3 different series on iRacing, R-Factor 2 and Assetto Corsa Competizione in what could be seen as a blow to race room racing experience ambitions. And good for R-Factor 2, whose people seem to have good connections to the world of motorsport. According to Rudolf Dietrich, head of BMW Motorsport Sim Racing, these outings want to attract top-class sim racers and are meant as a test to set up the right kind of formats and the best simulation of the racing cars. The races will be streamed live on the BMW Motorsport social media channels. The BMW Sim GT Cup will be based on iRacing and will comprise 2 seasons of 5 races each. BMW will bring a total of $4,200 in prizes. The races will be 120 minutes long and include a mandatory driver swap, the sim pilots all driving a BMW M8 GTE. You can see the dates and tracks on screen as we speak. The BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup will have R-Factor 2 as base. Again, this is a 2-season series, of which we know the first 5 locations out of 6 of the first season. In this series, BMW is more stingy and only offers a prize purse of €1,850. What a strange number. As you can see on your screen, the last location is still to be confirmed, which is strange as these are sim races and it's not like they have to ask if there's another race at that location. With regards to Assetto Corsa Competizione, the competition will be in the time attack format with tracks changing every month, the pilots using the Sim's BMW M4 GT4. No prices have been communicated here at all. We already talked in the past about the plans of the developers of this drifting simulator for multiplayer. From now on, the plans have become a reality and you will be able to drift with up to 6 other players and of course also against them. The winner of such a contest will be the one getting the most drift points from the simulation. At the moment, it's in a free-for-all situation where everyone can do as they please to get points. Further modes for multiplayer have been promised without talking about any specifics. For those who like something different, Community Sim Racing is going to start tomorrow their Question of Torque event. A mix between short races and a round of questions. About racing of course, and the racing for the time being is done via Assetto Corsa. Their first Question of Torque will take place tomorrow Monday 11th on Twitch, see the link in our description, at 7:30 GMT, that's 8:30 CET. In their own words, they want to set up, quote, a competitive, relaxed and fun chance for sim racers to show off their driving skills and knowledge chops, end quote. Might be a fun event, let's see if we find time tomorrow or at least we watch the VOD afterwards. What a fantastic idea! Using Assetto Corsa Competizione as their sim of choice, Every Lap Counts is a racing league by physically disabled for physically disabled. As we are all very aware, sim racing, like racing in general, needs high physical abilities and even the best of us mess up sometimes. Me even more than sometimes, but I digress. Imagine how frustrating it has to be when others are upset at your errors when you could not have done anything different because of your disability. As the initiator says in his posting on the Assetto Corsa Competizione forum, see the link in the description, and I quote, "Just completing a race, just completing every lap that you're able to do in a race is in itself a real victory for each and every one of us," end quote. As Every Lap Counts is not only meant to be a racing league but also a community of physically disabled sim racers, there is already a Discord set up for it, the link to which you'll find also in the description. And as you can see by the dates on the screen, they have big plans. Isn't this great? Be assured we at RomRom are willing to help, especially this community, to grow. What a fantastic idea! One of the finest things to arrive in late December was the newest update of Automobilista 2, which brings a whole bunch of GT1 cars. We are now officially on version 1.100. Well, and then some hot fixes, but who's counting? As you may have seen, we tested a mod for a GT1 car for Assetto Corsa and fell in love with it. The Automobilista 2 update brings 3 of them: Mercedes CLK LM, Porsche 911 GT1 and McLaren F1 GTR LT. Together with the GT1 cars, the update brought also the McLaren F1 LM, which despite the name is not an open-wheeler but rather a supercar. All these cars have become part of the base sim at no cost to anyone owning it. Another new thing coming with the update is Spa. And while the modern version is something every racing game has, the interesting thing will be seeing and racing the historic versions of it. Because as it's already tradition with Automobilista 2, the Spa track will bring historic versions. The first outing of the DLC will only bring the modern version, but subsequent updates will bring the 1991 version, which according to Razer you can expect in February, and the 1970s version with all of its 14 kilometers will come, and I quote, later on in 2021, end quote. In this case, very understandable, as the long track is a completely different beast to the other ones. An interesting thing Razer have talked openly about doing is to let anybody race on a DLC track as long as the person organizing the multiplayer race does have the DLC. They also said it's too soon to say which way they want to go, but that they are thinking strongly about doing this. I know games like Payday 2 have had the same strategy, and that led to many players buying the DLC after playing them with their buddies, their appetites whetted by the experience. As we are severely impressed they are publishing all cars as part of the base game and only make you pay extra for tracks, we wish them all the best in the world, whatever strategy they'd end up choosing. On the underlying fundamental parts of the sim, the user interface has once again been fine-tuned, and you can now customize camera position as well as force feedback gain per vehicle. Razer is of course still fiddling with the AI, as they did with Automobilista 1 until end of life and even after that. Especially, but not only their behavior under Blue Flag, have polished the netcode that I suppose still was an inheritance from Project Cars 2, so that close racing is now much more reliable. But they won't be able to release the championship mode just yet, as they were not yet happy with the results and will polish it a little more. For those of you who like to use their own liveries, the custom livery system has been worked up and should now be available in its final form. Or kinda. Razer doesn't stop working on anything, they just let it rest for a while, one of their numerous qualities. If you want to know more about how to set up your own livery, check the link to the Razer forum we've written in the description. Yet another impressive thing Razer have done with the sim is to adjust the probability of the weather situations you get when applying random weather to the situations you would realistically get based on the climate of the region the track is situated. And yes, they have also worked on physics, other tracks, Ibarra Reverse came new in this update, other vehicles and tons of other things, because Razer always worked tirelessly for their customers and fans. We also work tirelessly for you, as we can prove if you check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.
Visit romrom.net to connect to fellow sim racers and sim racing fans.